The author, rahimahullah, after talking about the conditions of prayer, goes on to talk about a few issues of fiqh that are related to the conditions of prayer. And he mentions the first one that says, وَتُكْرَهُ الصَّلَاةُ فِي السَّرَاوِيلِ إِلَّا إِذَا كَانَ فَوْقَهَا شَيْءٌ. The first thing he mentions is that it is disliked that a person pray wearing pants, except إِلَّا إِذَا كَانَ فَوْقَهَا شَيْءٌ, except if he wears something over it. What the issue of fiqh that he's talking about here is that it is disliked for both men and women to wear pants in prayer if there is nothing, if they're not wearing anything over it. Meaning, for example, if a man were to wear pants, then it is requested from him to wear a shirt that comes down to at least the knee level. And the reason why it's disliked is because in most cases pants are what we call muhaddad, meaning that they show the shape of the body. So when a person goes to pray, for example, and they go into sujood, then in most cases their buttocks will print out, or their crotch will print out, or their pants, the thighs of their legs will print out in the pants. And so these things are considered muhaddad, meaning they show the shape of the body, and that is disliked in prayer. And more so, it's extremely disliked for women to wear pants in prayer, because they're supposed to cover their bodies more than men. So when it comes to prayer, in terms of men, we're talking about wearing a thobe or a shirt that goes at least down to the knees. In terms of a woman, we're talking about something that goes over the thobe all the way down to her feet, because everything of her body is considered awra in prayer, except her hands and her face. So when we're talking about illa an yukuna fawqaha shay'un, except if there's something over it. In terms of a male, we're talking about something that goes down to the knees, and in terms of a woman, we're talking about something that goes down to the feet. And Imam Malik originally was not in favor of people wearing pants even for males, unless, as I mentioned, unless there's something over it. But just for the sake of wearing pants without anything over it, then it's disliked. Imam Malik said, "Laysa min libas an-nas." It's not from the clothes of upright people. But what he was referring to is because of the fact that the pants are muhaddad and that they print out. And in most cases today, that is the case. The pants that people wear if they were to go down in sujood, or if they were to sit cross-legged, then their crotches and so on would be exposed. So for that reason, it is disliked in the Maliki madhab. And in terms of women, they shouldn't be worn unless they're wearing something like an abaya over it. Then Al-Akhdari is going to talk about another issue which we mentioned previously in the beginning of the chapter of Tahara. Go back and review. We said that a person is going to cut his prayer. A person, if he had impurities on his clothes, he would cut his prayer only under the condition that he remembered and that he had enough ability to remove the impurity. And we said illa an yakhafa khuruj al-waqt, only if he had enough time to, if he figured he had enough time to remove that impurity before the prayer time went out. But if the prayer time, if he thought that the prayer time was going to go out before he had the ability to remove the impurity, then he would remain praying. Here Al-Akhdari is going to go back and talk about this issue, and the reason why he repeats it here extensively more is because this issue is also related to the matter here, the conditions of prayer, because we said that one of the conditions of prayer is that a person is free from impurities. So he says, وَمَنْ تَنَجَّسَ ثَوْبُهُ وَلَمْ يَجِدْ ثَوْبًا غَيْرُهُ وَلَمْ يَجِدْ مَاءً يَغْسِلُهُ بِهِ أَوْ لَمْ يَكُنْ عِنْدَهُ مَا يَلْبَسُ حَتَّى يَغْسِلَهُ وخاف خروج الوقت صلى بنجاسته ولا يحل تأخير الصلاة لعدم الطهارة ومن فعل ذلك فقد عصى ربه. Translation wise, Al-Akhdari says, whoever's thobe becomes soiled with an impurity and he cannot find another thobe, or he cannot find water in order to wash the thobe that has the impurity, or he doesn't have another thobe to wear until he washes that thobe that has an impurity, and he fears that the prayer time will go out, then he is to pray with the impurity, and praying with that impurity is obligatory. And then he mentions he mentions the principle tied to this issue that we just mentioned by saying it is haram, meaning la yahillu, it's not halal, meaning it's haram for a person to delay his prayer for the sake of not having tahara. And then he says, وَمَنْ فَعَلَ ذَلِكَ, whoever was to delay their prayer just because they didn't have tahara. And what he means here by tahara, for example, is a person in this issue that he's talking about specifically is a person who didn't have tahara from having an impurity on his clothes. He says whoever was to delay it, meaning whoever was to delay their prayer because they didn't have the ability to remove the impurity, then he says وَمَنْ فَعَلَ ذَلِكَ فَقَدْ عَصَى رَبَّهُ, then whoever were to do that type of delay, then he has sinned against his Lord. And so what Al-Akhdari is telling you here is that in the beginning of the chapter of Tahara, all he said, إِلَّا أَنْ يَخَافَ خُرُوجَ الْوَقْتِ, he said, cut your prayer only if you fear, cut your prayer except if you fear that the time will expire. And we mentioned in that earlier recording that the time expired means that if the person fears that he cannot obtain purity before the prayer time goes out, then he should continue praying. So all Akhdari is going to do here is he's going to give you some more practical examples on what do we mean by if a person fears that the time will go out. That's why he mentions وَمَنْ تَنَجَّسَ, and whoever thobe becomes impure. Then he says, then he gives you different scenarios. How can this be? وَلَمْ يَجِدْ ثَوْبًا, and he doesn't have another thobe to put on. وَلَمْ يَجِدْ مَاءً يَغْسِلُهُ, or he can't find water in order to remove that impurity from his thobe. أَوْ لَمْ يَكُنْ عِنْدَهُ مَا يَلْبَسُ, or he doesn't have another thobe to put on while he's washing while he washes the thobe that has the impurity. And then he says حَتَّى يَغْسِلُهُ, until he washes it. وَخَافَ خُرُوجَ الْوَقْتِ, and he fears that the time will go out, meaning that if I try to obtain one of these things that we mentioned here, that the time of the prayer will go out, then صَلَّى بِنَجَاسَتِهِ, it is obligatory for him to pray with that impurity. And the reason why we mentioned is because according to Imam Malik, preservation of praying your prayer on time in its correct timing is given more preference over the removal of impurities. Why do we say that? Because impurities are conditions, and while praying in time is something that is obligatory. So we give preference to those things because we will find that conditions, as he's going to mention now, under some circumstances can be dropped. So now that we mentioned that some conditions can be dropped, if we take a look back at all the conditions here that he mentions in this chapter, Al-Akhdari is going to go on now and show you under certain examples, to give you certain examples when a person doesn't have the ability, or the person does something out of forgetfulness, then they're not required to fulfill that condition. What do we mean by they're not required to fulfill that condition? If they were to perform a particular act of worship without fulfilling that condition, which in this issue we mean prayer, then although their prayers are sound if they were to complete their prayer, although it's recommended for them to repeat that prayer, but it's not obligatory. And the first one that he mentions here, he says, وَمَنْ لَمْ يَجِدْ مَا يَسْتُرُ بِهِ عَوْرَتَهُ صَلَّى عُرْيَانًا. We mentioned that one of the conditions of prayer is that a person has to cover his awrah. But so here the issue of a person covering his awrah, what if he can't find no clothes? What is he supposed to do? Then since all of these conditions here generally mean that they're only conditions if a person has the ability or if a person remembers, then in a case when a person doesn't have clothes and he doesn't have the ability to cover himself in prayer, then we're going to say that he prays naked. So we say, وَمَنْ لَمْ يَجِدْ مَا يَسْتُرُ بِهِ عَوْرَتُهُ. Whoever does not find anything to cover his awrah, صَلَّى عُرْيَانًا. And صَلَّى عُرْيَانًا means obligatory. It's obligatory for a person to pray even if naked. And so that's the first example on how a condition can be dropped, meaning the obligation of fulfilling a condition can be dropped when a person does not have the ability to fulfill an obligation. The second one, he says, وَمَنْ أَخْطَأَ الْقِبْلَةَ أَعَادَ فِي الْوَقْتِ. And whoever were to make a mistake about the direction of the Qibla, أَعَادَ فِي الْوَقْتِ. أَعَادَ فِي الْوَقْتِ is whoever is a translation, whoever were to make a mistake about the direction of the Qibla, meaning they prayed in the wrong direction, أَعَادَ فِي الْوَقْتِ. Then they should repeat their prayer as long as the time of Mukhtar still exists. We mentioned at the beginning of the lessons too something that's very important. When we say أَعَادَ فِي الْوَقْتِ, when we say that a person should repeat his prayer during as long as the time still remains, it's an indication that repeating is only mustahab, meaning that repeating it is only virtuous and it is not obligatory, which tells us that the prayer itself is sound. So understand this point. Anytime we say a'ada fil waqt, anytime we say that the prayer should be repeated within its time, it means that the prayer is sound, but the person is only requested to repeat it for the sake of having a prayer of more reward. But if we say a'ada abadan, or we say a'ada, for example, if we say a person should repeat it at any time, or a person should just simply repeat it without mentioning in the time, means that then it's obligatory and the first prayer that they prayed was sound. But in this case that we're talking about, a person who missed the Qibla by accident, then we say your prayer is sound, but he should repeat it during the time, the Waqt al-Mukhtar, if it's still present, and we will mention later. And we mentioned we mentioned before what the Waqt al-Mukhtar is, and so that's what he's referring to here. Then he says, وَكُلُّ. Then he's going to give you a principle here which is very important. Since we talked about repeating the prayer, we have to get a little bit of more details about what repeating the prayer necessitates. He says, وَكُلُّ إِعَادَةٍ فِي الْوَقْتِ فَهِيَ فَدِيلَةٌ. First thing about the principle that we're going to mention, every time we say that repeating the prayer in its time, it means that the repeating of the prayer is only a fadila. It's only something that's virtuous and it is not obligatory. That's the first step of the principle that he mentions. Then he mentions وَكُلُّ مَا تُعَادُ مِنْهُ الصَّلَاةُ فِي الْوَقْتِ فَلَا تُعَادُ مِنْهُ الْفَائِتَةُ وَالنَّافِلَةُ. And he says every prayer that a person is requested to, meaning that is a fadila for a person to repeat during the time, فَلَا تُعَادُ مِنْهُ الْفَائِتَةُ. Then after, if the time were to go up, then a person is no longer requested to repeat that prayer. So for example, let's say you made a mistake in the Qibla and then you remembered when the time went out. You're not supposed, here it's not permissible for you to pray it as a make-up prayer, because since the prayer already happened and it's sound, then when the time goes out, there's no way to repeat it, and then it ends up being haram because of the fact that you end up praying two prayers of the same prayer in one day, which is not permissible. And then he mentions وَالْفَائِتَةُ وَالنَّافِلَةُ, or al-fa'itatu wa nafilatu. Also likewise, when you repeat your prayer, you're not going to repeat the nafila the sunnah prayers along with it. So for example, if you prayed your dhuhr and you prayed your sunnahs for dhuhr, then you prayed the obligatory prayer, and you remember that you prayed